You feel it rise like a tidal wave in your chest, the ancient tremor of fear that curls your spine, tugs at your breath, and demands you shrink back into safety. You have learned to see fear as a foe, a phantom to banish, a weakness to suppress, a chain that binds you to the familiar. But fear is not your enemy. It is the sculptor's chisel, carving away delusion until the shape of your truest course emerges. Today you will welcome your fear, follow its edge, and let it guide you beyond every limit you once believed unbreachable. You begin by closing your eyes and placing both hands over your heart. You feel the warmth beneath your palms, each beat a reminder that you are alive, and that life itself is woven with threads of risk. You inhale deeply, letting the air swirl through your lungs as you invite the tremble in your chest to surface. You whisper into the hush, "Show me your face." In that moment of reckoning, fear pulses through your veins like molten iron, brilliant and fierce. You do not turn away. Instead, you lean into its heat and feel the contours of its shape. The dread of rejection, the terror of failure, the disquiet of stepping into the unknown. You open your eyes and stand before a narrow, dimly lit corridor stretching beyond sight. Its walls are rough-hewn stone, each block etched with faint runes of past doubts and regrets. You sense the threshold at the corridor's mouth, a point where your familiar self ends and the uncharted begins. You draw a trembling breath and step forward, one foot landing on solid stone, the other hesitating in midair. You let the hesitation linger, tasting its metallic sting. You remind yourself, this tremor is not a barricade, but a signpost, an invitation to see what lies on the other side. You walk into the corridor, each step echoing like a drumbeat in a forgotten cathedral. Shadows flicker on the walls as if flicked by an unseen torch. You feel the sensation of the unknown pressing against your back, urging you onward. You notice the smell of damp earth, the distant drip of water. You feel the weight of choice settle on your shoulders, to continue or to turn and retreat. You inhale and let the chisel of fear carve away the narrative that tells you to go back. You choose to go forward. Deeper into the corridor, you reach a small chamber where a single torch burns low. In its glow, you see a wooden board propped against the far wall. On it is scrawled a single word, "Dare." You step closer, light flickering across your face. You trace the letter D with your finger and feel the rough grain beneath your touch. You recognize that daring is the language fear speaks, an oracle urging you to test how far you can go. You lean forward, whispering, "I dare." You leave the chamber and emerge onto a high precipice overlooking a vast, storm-racked sea. Waves crash against jagged rocks far below. A narrow plank of rotted wood spans from your feet to a crumbling platform on the opposite cliff. The wind tears at your clothes and you feel vertigo twist your vision. But you also feel something else, clarity. Fear's chisel has stripped away every excuse, every polite avoidance that kept you safe on solid ground. You see that to reach the platform is not a reckless gamble, but a necessary crossing. A bridge built by the very tremor that beckoned you here. You step onto the plank, heart hammering as the void yawns beneath. Each step sends the wood creaking beneath your weight, and the wind howls warnings in your ear. You notice your breath hitch, your grip tighten on your arms. You let that fear guide you. Here you learn to walk with uncertainty as your partner. You keep your gaze fixed on the platform's edge, refusing the dizzy distraction of the depths below. You place one foot lightly before the other, heel then toe. You feel the chisel of fear etch your resolve into a sharper form, carving away hesitation until only purpose remains. Halfway across, a roar of turbulence snaps the plank beneath your foot. You stumble, your chest convulsing with the rush of panic. You want to recoil, to let the fear pull you back to the safety of solid ground. But a quiet voice rises within, "Keep going." You breathe deep and adjust your stance, anchoring your weight to the plank's center. You let the wind's fury empower you, channeling its force into each forward step. You remind yourself that every collapsing plank you have encountered in your life was an opportunity to discover how firmly you could stand. You reach the platform and collapse to your knees as the plank quivers empty behind you. You feel the ache in your thighs, the pounding in your lungs, the humming electricity of triumph coursing through your veins. At the platform's center stands a simple pedestal, atop which rests a battered journal. Its cover is creased and worn as though it has traveled countless storms. You open it and see a solitary phrase on its first page. What do you fear most? Beneath it, an empty line invites your response. You stare at the question and realize that fear's ultimate gift is self-knowledge, because in articulating what you fear most, you hold the key to forging a life that transcends that fear. You place your trembling hand on the open page and write, "I fear living a life untested by my own courage." You step back and feel how the words pulse like embers in the stormy air. You close the journal, feeling the weight of that truth settle in your chest. You understand that fear's chisel has not only shaped your resolve but also unveiled the landscape of your authentic yearning, revealing that the only true failure would be to never face the storm at all. You descend from the precipice along a hidden path that winds through ancient oaks. The forest is hushed, save for the rustle of wind in the leaves, a song woven from both calm and chaos. You walk with a steady gait, each step a testament to the crossing you completed. You feel the roots of the oaks beneath your boots, telling you that strength grows in silent communion with the earth. You realize that the storm now lives within you as both memory and ally, a reminder that courage isn't absence of fear but mastery of its shaping power. As dusk falls, you reach the edge of a tranquil lake, its surface smooth as glass. You kneel and trace your reflection in the fading light. You see the tremor in your eyes tempered by a quiet flame of determination. You place your hand in the cool water and feel the echo of the storm ripple back as waves of calm. You speak to your reflection, "I am forged by my fear, guided by its chisel, and free because I dared to walk through the tempest." You rise and walk to the lake's shore as the last torch of sunlight melts into the horizon. You carry the knowledge that fear will rise again, shadows gathering in the corners of your mind, murmurs of doubt in the dawn's hush. But you also know that each time fear's blade carves into your certainty, it reveals the shape of your next horizon. You breathe deep and let the twilight sweep over you, secure in the knowledge that your greatest path is hewn by the very thing you once begged to flee.